In this video, I'm going to show you all the different ways to model multiplication of decimals. So first of all, we're going to talk about what it means when you multiply. So if I multiply 4 hundredths times 4, when we multiply something times 4, we're just doing 4 hundredths 4 times. So I could do repeated addition. Like this and add them all up. I could do 4 hundredths written as a fraction times 4, and we've used this strategy when we multiplied fractions. I could do 4 groups of 4 hundredths. Remember, dots and squares are hundredths. The sticks are worth 1/10. So I could model it this way to show that I have 16 hundredths. But the way we're going to talk about are using models with this hundredth square here. So if I wanted to show 4 hundredths times 4 using this hundredth grid, all you're going to do is alternate colors and color in 4 hundredths. And now I'm going to switch to another color, 4 hundredths. Now I'm going to switch to another color, 4 hundredths. So right now I'm up to 3 and 4 hundredths. And I'm just coloring this in quickly. Colored pencils really work best for this. And then when I get done, you can see here very clearly, my answer is 10 plus 6, 16 hundredths. So this is just one way of showing multiplication of decimals by a whole number. Another way you'll see, let's say I have 2/10 times 3. Again, I could do 2/10 plus 2/10 plus 2/10. I could show 2/10 times 3 this way. I could do 3 groups. With 2/10 in each group. But another way they often throw at you guys is using a number line. Let's make this 0 and 1. And what they'll do on the number lines is model 2/10 3 times by jumps. So they'll start here and do a jump, another jump, and then a third jump. So this shows 2/10, 2/10, 2/10, and you can see the point I land at is 6/10. So you will see these from time to time. Just know that if it starts at 0 and goes to 1, if there are 10 spaces in between, that number line is using tenths to represent it. And then for this one, if I wanted to show the decimal model, I would shade in 2/10 and 2/10. And one more group of 2/10. And as you can see, when I get done, my 100th model has a total of 2, 4, 6/10 shaded. So this model represents 2/10 times 3, which equals 6/10. So when you're working with hundredths, you're going to have just like tiny little sections, and there's not going to be like a pattern to the rows because they just end wherever they end. If you do 6/10 5 times, you're going to have 5 groups of 6 squares, and they're going to end at random places. So just when you're doing different groups, sometimes they will draw boxes around them like this to try to set off the groups for you. But again, I think these are kind of confusing when they do it because there's not always an overlap. Just know that when you see small groups of hundredths multiple times, you're just modeling multiplication. Now, the kind of trickier one is when we do a decimal by a